Yeah, we do state-of-the-art research in these labs. We analyse over 100 mince pies a day, looking at every conceivable variable that there is and trying to optimise pies, trying to develop non-invasive techniques. We use X-rays and other sources of radiation which enable us to probe the inside of a pie without actually eating it. So we can tell before you taste this pie whether or not it's tasty or not. Yeah, no, I would use the beater on this.
See, the other thing is we found a difference in the perpendicular diameters, so we thought...
Yeah, but that's okay because we can just do this. So obviously we could eat a mince pie to see what's inside or break it open, but then of course you've no longer got a mince pie. So by using X-rays we can find out about the inner world in a completely non-destructive way. A friend of mine down the pub the other day tried a mince pie and he said that it was really tasty. Now I took this mince pie back to the lab the next day and I examined it and I found that actually it wasn't that tasty at all. Now this is really important because this shows that we're no longer slaves to what humans report. We are now applying science, and this is really important because science can't be wrong because it's science.
So Professor Ben, tell me a bit about the history of the mince pie.
Mince pie science is a specialist field of pie science in general and has a long and rich history, starting of course with Isaac Newton. People have heard the old wives' tale as it is that he discovered or came up with his theory of gravity after an apple fell to the ground. This of course is nonsense. Everyone knows that apples were a luxury item in those days and wouldn't have been allowed to fall to the ground. He actually did his experiments by a careful examination of meat pies falling to the ground, meat being very cheap in the days of the Black Death. Pie drop A743, stand clear. Disengage in 3, 2, 1. The 18th century saw very few advances except for the work of Faraday and his 20,000 volt experiment about the pastry case.
That's interesting.
Pie science has had important influences on mathematics, and this goes back even further than Newton. This is way back in the time of Pythagoras in 400 or 600 BC. I'm not very good with my ancient history, but he was the first person to suggest that pies should be round, but he never actually made a pie. He only drew pies.
Do we have any records of these early drawings?
Not originals. I mean, we only know about them from the writings of Plato, but modern mathematicians have recreated what we think these look like, and I could show you now actually what they might look like. Yeah, so they'd look something like this.
That's good.
What would you say to the critics that say that mince pie science gets too much money?
Well, they're idiots, basically. I mean, they're happy to sit there munching on their mince pie saying, what a lovely pie, but they expect it to come from nowhere. As it happens, only £2 million of government money is spent on mince pie research. Most of it comes from the private sector. This is astonishingly good value. It's less than the British public spends on toilet paper in a week. But as I said before, for me the taste is the justification. Yes, that money could be used to pay for hundreds more nurses or hundreds more teachers, but we have to consider what would be the losses to the lives of people in this country and to the British economy. I mean, how do you put a price on a tasty mince pie?
Can I try one of the pies?
One of these pies? No, I don't think so.
Do you like mince pies?
Not really. Take it or leave it.